Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Black Widow. Even though technically when this movie released, she was there's something that happened to her. I'm not gonna spoil it fully, but something had happened to her, and the release window does not make any sense. But apparently the Ike Perlmutter was like, we are not having a woman lead movie. And to be honest, stuff that releases after this, I can understand why he said that, but this movie is actually not that bad, I will say that. But what is this movie about? Well, it's Black Widow who goes up against the Red Room. We get more information about the Red Room and we have to take it down. That's basically a non-spoiler version of the movie because of the fact that I'll have a spoiler talk later on. So let's just get straight into the cast. So starting off, we have Scarlett Johansson back as Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. And my goodness, she always has owned this role. She's great in the role, and in this movie, yeah, she's great in the movie as well. However, they do something to her character that I find horrible. I am 100% against what they do in this movie to her character, because they kind of destroy her character in a way that doesn't make sense. Also, technically we'll talk about it later, but a little bit of a spoiler for like Infinity War, I think it was, or Endgame. One of those two movies, I forgot which one it was, but she's like, I ain't got no family. Meanwhile, in this movie, it's like, hey, you got family. It's just, it annoys me when they do kind of stuff like, when they go back into the past and they do stuff like that. It's like, wouldn't it make, but to be honest, it couldn't be afterwards. But overall, she is really good in the movie. Next up, we have Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova. Hopefully I said that right. Who is the sister to Natasha. Well, technically not official by blood, because the fact that, you know, the girls are kidnapped by at a young age, so they're basically not really family, but they were family for a bit, so we're just gonna call her the sister. And yeah, Florence Pugh does a really good job in this movie. While I will say that her best performance as Yelena is in Thunderbolts, I will say that she actually does a really good job in this movie. I like her a lot, the way that she struggles with things, her famous line, "It was real to me." I like that. I like that a lot. And also, she actually does a Russian type of accent, which is something that they didn't even do with Natasha. Even though sometimes in this movie, she speaks Russian, but she never has a Russian accent, even though I feel like she kind of should. But hey, you know what? That's just me talking. But Florence Pugh was great. Then after that, we have David Harbour as the Alexei Shostakov as the Red Guardian. There you go. Let's call him Red Guardian because I'm terrible with these Russian names. But yeah, we have him as the Red Guardian, and he's a show stealer, I will say that, but not as much as in Thunderbolts. In this movie, it is still like, okay, yeah, it's Black Widow, but like, he has some really good scenes, and I love his scenes that he has with like Yelena, that he has with everyone basically. But there's one scene with Yelena that is actually really good, and it's like there's like barely any jokes. I mean, there's one joke that just ruins the whole thing. It's like, dude, really? Okay, whatever. But then they pick it back up. He sings a little song. That's the scene. But I love him in this role, and to be honest, I can't wait to see more of him next year in Avengers Doomsday. Unless that movie gets delayed again, who knows? But I can't wait to see more of him in the future of the MCU. I really like him. After that, we also have Rachel Weisz as Milena Vostokov, the adoptive mother. And she's good in the role as well. I like her a lot as well. But unlike the other characters that I'll talk about, except for one, which I will get into later, she doesn't necessarily do a lot that I can really talk about, so because everything about her character is a spoiler. But I liked her in the role as well. So then let us move straight into, because of the fact that this movie takes place basically right after Civil War, Ross is hunting her, and we have William Hurt back as Thaddeus Ross. However, this is sadly enough, I think if I remember correctly, his final time that he plays Ross before his death. And he does a really good job as Ross. He doesn't do a lot in the movie, but I liked him, and I thought because the fact that this is his final performance, I'll talk about him for a little bit. Now then, let us move straight into the baddies of the movie. So starting off, we have Ray Winstone as Dreykov, who, yeah, the villain in this movie isn't really the best. I'll say that right now, okay? He's just basically, your typical generic bad guy. That's what he is. He's your generic bad guy. But I will say that Ray Winstone does a really good job in the role. And then finally, we have Olga, what even is that last name? Kurilenko as Taskmaster. I don't really want to talk about that. That's a spoiler. So Taskmaster. And I hate everything about this character. I hate everything about this character. Starting off with the, I guess, weirdly enough, the least problematic thing about her. And that is the fact that she's been gender bended. Because in the comic books, it's a man who is Taskmaster. And here, it's a woman. But that's like the least of the problems here, okay? Because the main issue is everything else with this character. God, I hate her so much. She is nothing like the Taskmaster that you may have seen in either a TV show or maybe in the Spider-Man game on PlayStation from Insomniac. Nothing, because she never says a word in this movie until like the end, I think. I mean, maybe there was one word, but like as Taskmaster, she doesn't speak. That colorful personality that Taskmaster has in the comic books, I think, but in the shows and in the games, yeah, that's not here. Just entirely gone. Also, the powers. Basically, Taskmaster has a photographic memory, which is why he's able to copy everyone. Yeah, this one, it seems like, doesn't have that. Instead, gets, like, uploaded videos to her helmet and then see stuff. No, I hate her. I hate everything about her. However, I will say that it is not anything against the actress. She does what she can with the job, but the job didn't really require much, I don't really think. But overall, hated it. Hated it. And the main problem with this is Marvel, not the actress. I will never bully the actress over a decision that corporate makes. This is a Marvel and Disney problem. Whoever decided the Taskmaster needed to be a woman and also needed to be this is a big problem. And there's a big reveal with her character, which also links to Black Widow and the thing I don't like about Black Widow. But anyway, I hate her. And that's it for the villains. So now then we have one more character that I think we can talk about. We have O.T. Fagbennel as Rick Mason. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But he plays Rick Mason, basically the supplies guy for Black Widow. And he's entertaining enough in the movie. But overall, that is the end of the cast. So now let's get into those final verdicts. But before that, a little bit more final thoughts. This movie is not as bad as I initially, when I first watched it, was. I did like the movie. However, there's big problems with this thing. One dealing with Natasha that I don't like. The next one being just Taskmaster and everything around it. And also, there's some superhuman stuff that happens with Natasha that is like really unrealistic. It's like, you should be dead 15 times over. But whatever. But overall, those are big problems and they do take the movie down. So my final verdict for Black Widow, and I cannot stress this enough, is a 7 out of 10. I cannot go higher because of those problems that I personally have with the movie. While there is entertainment to be found in this movie, and this movie isn't all that bad as I initially I thought this movie was forgettable. Maybe I was just not paying attention when I was watching the movie. That is entirely possible. But now I did because of the reviews, and I will say, yeah, the movie is fine. It's fine. However, it came way too late, and that is also a big problem with the movie. But that's more of a higher up thing, because no women were allowed to be in movies. But I will say that this is the best female-led project that Marvel has released, which isn't saying much. And to be honest, I think it does a good job at setting up Yelena for future stuff, because I liked her in this movie, and also Red Guardian as well. We get good introduction to those characters, and that is the most important part about this movie. But let me know what you guys thought about this movie in the comment section down below. With that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already, turn notifications. Don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next week, because we go from one black to the other black, but this time it's actually black, from Black Widow to Black Panther. See you guys next week for my review and spoiler talk of Black Panther. Bye!